Hello and welcome to BierTier, the German engineer. Today, we're back with episode 24 of our newest Let's Play series, and this is, of course, oxygen not included. Last time around, yes, all the way on the bottom, we built our oil empire, and very soon all of this here will be filled with oil, and our two oil wells are hard at work. But today, we have a bunch of things to do. One of them is all the way on the top. We need to build us a second rocket so we can actually go and explore the space around us. But that is certainly not all. We also need to go to Abundino and we need to build a SPOM. So let's just jump right into it and see how that works out for us. And here we are on Abundino. So let's pause the game, let's turn the overlay back on, and look at this here. All the dupes are just standing around in here. Yeah, they're just enjoying the wonderful park that we built. But our polluted water vent has 17.3 cycles, so we probably need to get going over here. So let's do that right away. First of all, we need to head into refinement, as a matter of fact, and we need to find us a water sieve. And the water sieve, we are just gonna plop it, yeah, probably right there. We'll get the job done. Then we're gonna go into power and grab us a hydrogen generator, and we're going to build 3 of them. That is the basic size that we need. We need to put in a roof, of course, and then come down here. Of course, that is a little bit too much right here, so that needs to go. And also on this side right here, we're gonna have a 3 wide space left over, but that is also perfectly fine once again. Then we need some airflow tiles that come all the way through here. And on the right side, of course, we need to keep going down with our insulated tiles. Next on the list is, let's go back into power and grab us a large power transformer, and we're gonna plop it right here. We're gonna leave one space because the large transformer is only too high. Then hydrogen generator right beside it. That should get the job done. Then we're going to grab us a smart battery. Where you at? There you are. And then perfectly over here, we will be able to fit another transformer and have even one more space left open. Then we're gonna build the floor, and then we're going to build the actual SPOM down here on the bottom. So we will have a little bit more digging to do, but once again, that will be perfectly fine. So let's keep going. First of all, we are going to put in another floor, and we're going to make it 4 wide. That should get the job done, and another 4 right here. So we have 4 left here in the middle, and then we're going to go down 3. That is the next thing that we need. And then, of course, we're going to go into oxygen and grab us next on the list, where we have the electrolyzer. 2 here and 2 there should certainly get it done. Then we need, once again, here in manual airlocks, 2 of those. And then right there in the middle, we just need 2 tiles. We make them insulated or anything else. It literally doesn't matter. Next on the list, we need airflow tiles. A bunch of those all along here and all along there. We could theoretically build them through the middle, but that is absolutely not necessary. And then down here on the bottom, we need another chamber that is too high, just like that. And we're gonna slap them full with, where we at, in ventilation gas pumps. And we're gonna plop in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That is the very basic setup that needs to be built. So yeah, the dupes have a hell of a lot to do over here. Of course, to make that even theoretically happen, we need to plop in a ladder, and the ladder probably, yeah, how are we gonna do this? We could just smack it right here, and then a fire pole right beside it, so it goes a tiny little bit faster. Yes, it will take a little bit longer to build it, but overall it should make up for itself. So that should certainly work. This here is 3 high, so yes, the dupes can build right there. And then of course, at least for right now, we need to be able to get into here. So we need to open all this stuff here up, and we just close it back off whenever all this here is built. And one thing that I can't forget, right here, of course, we need another pump. So all of this here looks really, really good. Now the dupes just need to get it done. Meanwhile, over here on Ingenium, yes, up here on the top, it is time to build another rocket. So let's do that right away. Right here, we're gonna say new rocket, and then we're gonna get started with a small petroleum engine. Of course, as usual, we're gonna plop it right there. On top of it goes a Spacefarer module. What they're made out of literally doesn't matter too much. Then all the way on the bottom, yes, 2 battery modules go above it, 1 here and 1 there. And then we're gonna need, where are we at? Not like that, please. A small solid oxidizer tank. That is next on the list. And once again, the game does not want me to scroll through here for some reason, but that is okay. Where is our next piece? Right here, the gas cargo canister. Then a solar panel. And above the solar panel, goes of course our nose cone, which gives us the maximum height. That is what needs to be built next. That is of course highly important as usual. So when we have this here, we can build the interior. That is gonna look very good, and Jemsterr will be happy, or as a matter of fact, anyone else we're gonna send to space. And right here, still happily orbiting Ingenium, is Jemsterr, and Jemsterr is still hard at work, and he is currently at exactly 210 databanks. Look at that. He is definitely making progress, but there is still no reason to send him home. So Jemsterr, yeah, you're just gonna stay here and it's gonna be fine, because you're just going to make databanks until you almost run out of food, or at least until we have, let's say, about 500 of those things. That should be a good number. And in our storage bin, we also still have 8,945 kilograms worth of plastic. So you're good on food, you're good on oxygen, you're good on power, and you're good on plastic, which is all you need. Wonderful. Keep it up. And there we have it. The second rocket is built. And when we take a look in our F2 overlay, we have power. In our F6 overlay, we have water. And of course, we also have petroleum. And in our F7 overlay, yep, that stays exactly the same, and we are already getting in oxygen, so that is perfectly fine. So let's take a look inside of the Spacefarer module. Yeah, that is what we need to do next. And of course, there are two things that are gonna stay the exact same thing, and one of them is, of course, our piping. So we're gonna grab us pipes, gonna make it out of granite, that's perfectly fine. And all we're going to do is we're gonna snake it once again through the entirety of this rocket here. Not exactly like that, but almost like that. There we go, all the way through. We will not stop until we reach the very end of it. And this here is mainly to A, keep the water, and B, of course, also for a little bit of temperature control. Right there will certainly get the job done. That is strike one. Then there are a few things, of course, that we need in here. So let's get those done next. First the bottom floor and then the top floor. In stations, we are gonna get started with the Atmos suit checkpoint, and the checkpoint is gonna go right there with a dock right beside it. That is also exactly going to stay the same, no difference to our last build. Then we're gonna go into furniture and grab us a mess table. Also that is gonna stay the same. And then right beside the mess table, we need a fridge. Let's see, should be in food. Yes, it is. Of course it is. And there is our fridge. Now on the original build, we will have right here our outlet for our oxygen. That is of course not what we're gonna do this time around, because we need to make it a little bit different right here. Up here, above our heads, we need this time one more space, which is 5 spaces instead of just 4. And the reason for it is that our telescope up here is going to be a tiny little bit bigger than our research station. Then we're gonna plop in 2 doors just like that. That is going to be perfectly fine. Then in rocketry, no, where is it at in plumbing? Yeah, in plumbing is our wall toilet. We're gonna turn it around and plop it in the corner where it belongs. Then in medicine, we're gonna grab us the hand sanitizer. Also that is gonna stay the exact same. And then we're gonna go back to base and grab us carpeted tiles, and we're gonna plop them all along here. So that here should give the dupes for now more than enough to do. And as soon as all of this here is built, then we're gonna go up onto the top and build everything that we need up here. Also down here on the bottom, we are not completely finished, but we're also going to build that later. First and foremost, we need all of this stuff, and then we will keep going from here. Meanwhile, on Abundino, the dupes are making really good progress, and you can probably see that I have already put in all those heavy butt wires here that we will need to connect later anyway. So I figured might as well do that right away before we do any of the other piping, because that is not a hell of a lot that can be done on the side, and the dupes apparently are already on it. So, but there is another project that I need to get them started on really quickly, because even if this one here comes online and this here is not done yet, it's really not that big of a deal, as long as we have some sort of enclosure where we can keep all of our polluted water. And that is certainly something that I'm planning on doing. So let's see how we can do that. First of all, up here, all around this here, we need, of course, insulated tiles. That is, of course, highly important. Something just like this here. And then probably right here is where I'm going to build the reservoir. That is probably the easiest way to do this here. So let's come into something like this here. Let's come all the way down to here and maybe into right there. And then back over. That would make a really nicely sized reservoir, that is for sure. But can we do it better? I think we can. So let's plop probably right around here. 2 tiles right there. Yep, that should get the job done. And get rid of this here instead. Then let's plop in some ladders so the dupes can actually reach all this stuff here. That would make perfect sense, wouldn't it? And then let's give the dig command to dig all of this here out. Of course, the ladders here in the middle have to go as well. That is relatively important. Well, it really isn't. It doesn't really matter, but might as well get rid of them while we can. And of course, so the dupes can for now come in and out, we need to leave this entrance open. So the dupes can come in here and build all of this here. Then in plumbing, we need a liquid pump, plop it all the way on the bottom, and then come out with a liquid pipe. But how we are gonna come over here, I'm not entirely sure yet. Probably just all the way through here. That is slightly suboptimal, but it is what it is. Theoretically, we could also come through the bottom, couldn't we? Could we do this here? Yeah, I think we can. We just have to come over here and build an entire row of insulated tiles all the way from the top to the bottom. And then this one here on the left side is not needed anymore. So we're probably just gonna do that since it is the easiest and the fastest way over. Yeah, that is what we're gonna do. And that is going to work out perfectly in our favor. Meanwhile, over here on Ingenium in our rocket, we are looking very good. The dudes have been hard at it and they built everything even on the top right here because yes, our 2 pneumatic doors here are at the same time our ladder. So it works out just fine, but we need to keep on building for sure. So let's grab us 2 pneumatic doors and plop them right there for our next room. And our next room is going to be the bedroom. This time, not quite as comfy though, because we do not have enough space, but that is okay. Let's hop into furniture, grab us a cot and plop it right here into the corner. Then we're gonna come down metal block and we're gonna plop one right here and one right there. This one here didn't do for some reason, not entirely sure, but we can plop one up here into the right corner as well. One of our blank canvases, top right corner, top left corner. There's plenty of space for it, and that is of course very, very good. So next on the list, we're gonna go into rocketry and we're gonna grab us the power outlet fitting. The power outlet fitting is gonna go right there. And then the gas output fitting is gonna go right beside it. That should be perfectly fine. Then a gas pipe, we're just gonna come through the entirety over right here and plop it into here. And then another one, we're just gonna come down to here. So this time around, our gas vent is going to be in the bathroom right here and not over here. And there is an easy reason for that, because I want to make sure we have enough morale available in this build. So we are going to go once again into furniture, and this time we're gonna grab us a party line phone to give us a tiny little bit of an extra morale boost. It doesn't use a hell of a lot of power, so it is perfect for this scenario right here. And that is of course what we're gonna go with. And then we need a telescope, and the telescope is gonna live right here. To be able to build all this stuff up here on the top though, we need a temporary ladder right there, so a dupe can come up here and build all these connections. So let's get that done next. Oh yeah, before I forget it, in power, we also should probably go ahead and power all this stuff here while we're at it. There we go. And that should certainly get the job done now. Another thing that we can get started with is extracting this hydrogen right here. So that is certainly going to be quite interesting since the pressure is so extremely high. We are at 500 kilograms per tile. That may end in a disaster if we are not extremely careful. So let's get digging. First of all, I want to empty out all this oil right here so that doesn't cause any issues later on. Then we probably just gonna dig 4 high all the way through here, and then we're gonna drain it out, and everything that doesn't drain, we're just gonna come in here and we're gonna mop it. As soon as that is done, then we can start digging downwards, and that is precisely what we are going to do. Meanwhile, over here on Abundino, yes, the dupes are making quite a lot of progress. Look at that, it is almost done. A couple more things to pick up, the ladders have to go, and then we can close this thing here off for good. Yep, that should be it. Right here, I rebuilt this here tiny little bit so the dupes can come in here through this way as well, and the carbon dioxide can come in here as well, so our oxiferants are not completely bored. So, while we are at it, we might as well take a look over here, and my goodness, look at it, it is completely done. So I would say let's keep going right away. In power, we need to get us conductive wires, and the conductive wires are a little bit interesting right here. We have those 2 things right here, and yes, we need both of them because that is quite a lot of power. So first of all, let's take this one here and let's come all the way through the bottom right here and hook all of this here up. Later on, we can use it even for a little bit more if time permits, or better to say, if we have another project going on right down here. And then this 1000 watt right here, we're gonna branch it off over here and come just all the way through there. That should give everything power. With this one here, actually, we need to come all the way up and also hook that one here up. So that should work perfectly in our favor. So that is a lot of wire that we need to build here to get all of this here properly powered. But next on the list, we have piping. And the piping is a little bit more interesting. So it's going to be a lot of radiant pipes made out of aluminum. We probably, well, not just probably, we definitely have to get some aluminum over from the other planetoid. And I think it is actually smartest if we start over here. It takes a little bit of extra pipe, but it is fine. We are going to take all of this water that's coming through here, and we are going to just pipe it all the way through, all the way to the top. That is what we need to do. But that here was one too far because we are going to build the wall right here. So we're going to come along here, all the way over to the left. Then we're going to switch over to insulated pipes, going to come through the wall right here, and going to give it another go around right around here, all the way through there, and then back along here. Then back to insulated pipes. Then we might as well come back through here, radiant liquid pipe, and once again insulated pipe all the way through here. And then we're going to just keep on freaking going. All the way through here, all the way through there, all the way through here. And we're still building with aluminum. Yes, I need to make sure that the aluminum is what we are actually using for this year. Then right here, we will need a bridge. Why? You will see very, very soon. Don't worry about it. And it needs to go upwards because this here is our input pipe. Then more radiant liquid pipes all the way through here. And then all the way into right there. And actually, look at this here. We had enough aluminum, so that is actually very good. We barely have any left, so I'm definitely going to transfer a little bit more over. And then last but not least, we're going to come all the way through here, all the way down there, and then all the way into right here. Well, actually, let me go one deeper and plop it into right here. There we go. That is the entire piping setup. And yes, that is a hell of a lot of pipe. So that needs to be built next by the dupes. And they have a hell of a lot to do. My goodness, that is an extremely long pipes. They will have to transport alone 5 tons of aluminum over to this section. So dupes, get it done. Our research rocket right here should be extremely close to ready as well. So let's take a look into here. And sure enough, it is. That is very good. And we are looking decent. I don't think anything else is missing. I set the fridge just a second ago to berry sludge with a number 9 priority. So berry sludge should now be delivered as well. This here we can turn on as well while we are at it with a number 9 priority. Yeah, that should be perfectly fine. I don't see a reason why this here should not work. Let's take a look at our room overlay. Yes, everything is exactly what it should be. We have a barracks, we have a washroom, and we have a mess hall. This barracks right here is now, well, a barracks and not a bedroom anymore. Earlier, or better to say not earlier, but in the other rocket, it is a bedroom because we have the nice bed in it. Right here, it is only a barracks. But that is perfectly fine. That's why we have the phone in here to help out with the differentiation of morale a tiny little bit. But yes, let's get some berry sludge delivered and then we are ready to send this thing here to space as well. I just don't think we have another dupe for that currently. So we either have to make one or we're gonna bring Jemsterr home. Speaking of Jemsterr, might as well take a quick look at him. How are you doing, Jemsterr? You napping and you're at what? 100, 200, 327 data banks. Yeah, you are doing quite well up here in space, that is for damn sure. You are born for the stuff, my man. You are doing great. Down here on the very bottom of Ingenium, I kind of feel like the dwarves in the Lord of the Rings, and I have dug too deep, and the Balrog is gonna come out any second now and trying to kill all my dupes. But so far he has not shown up, so we are doing alright. So what have I done here? I have built a literal mining shaft. All the way down, laid out with insulated tiles, and there's a really good reason for it, and that reason is that cold. The ice is at a negative 125 degrees Celsius, and that is of course insanity and not something we can really work with. So I figured if I build a shaft, maybe alone the gases that are sinking down here will kind of heat it up, but so far we are nowhere near where I need to be. When we take a look at crude oil has a freeze point of negative 40.1 degrees and we are far, far away from that. So I may have to help it a tiny little bit. Oh, what is this power wire here doing? Not a hell of a lot. So let's keep going with this power wire here all the way around there. And then let's bring it all the way down here. And maybe somewhere here in the back, I don't know yet where. Let's see here. And where is that at? In utilities, we have a space heater. And I think I'm just going to plop a space heater somewhere right around here, because that is the most important point right here. A liquid lock has to be built. And I just realized that there is one piece missing for a liquid lock. That is highly, highly important. Without the liquid lock, we will not be able to get this gas out because it is so dense that it will just spread everywhere. So a liquid lock is a must. That is certainly what we're gonna go for. Theoretically, even the lock as it is here could work because it is carbon dioxide on the bottom, but I just don't know what this high of a pressure here is going to do to the carbon dioxide down here. So I'd rather go liquid and be safe with it. That is the plan. But first of all, the dupes need to get rid of all this ice right here. It is literal tons and tons of it, and at the same time they need to build the space heater, and then we will see how that goes. On Abundino, the dupes have been at it hard. My goodness, look at it. It is done. And you may have noticed, yes, I rebuilt this here. I put in insulated tiles here on the top and then ripped those here out. And there's a reason for that, because there's something missing. But before we plop that in, let's take a look. First of all, in power, we are certainly looking good. Everything that needs to be powered, yeah, seems to be powered. And that is precisely what we want. In F6, let's see, is all of this here correct? The water is coming all the way through here, all the way through there, and then all the way to the top. So yes, that is absolutely correct. Only one thing is missing, and that is of course a piece of radiant pipe right there. So that is very good. When that one here is built, everything's right. Also this pipe here, I did not check it, but everything is of course good. Then in F7, yeah, look at this here. We have all these here built. This here is coming out, and then right here is a bridge missing that I have not hooked up, because first of all, of course, we need to create a vacuum in here, and that is highly important. So we are looking very decent, but what we are lacking is a tiny little bit of shipping automation, because this here of course needs sand, and it produces polluted dirt right here. So that is certainly something that we need to take care of. So let's head into shipping and grab us a conveyor loader, and we're going to plop the conveyor loader, yeah, probably just right there is fine. Then an auto sweeper, of course, and last but not least the conveyor chute right there. And this sweeper here can of course reach what we are dropping and everything else, so that is perfectly fine. Then we need to have another conveyor loader. And I think for right now, yeah, I should be able to just plop it right here, I believe. I don't see a reason why not. Actually, that may be a problem because we have too much power on here. Well, actually, it shouldn't be an issue. No, it should be perfectly fine where it is at. So we're gonna leave it where it is. And then with a conveyor rail, we're just gonna come straight into here. There is that. And then with this one right here, we could theoretically just hook it up to right there, because it comes into here and we can have polluted dirt in here. It literally wouldn't matter that much, would it? Let me think about that for just 1 second. Can we do something more useful with polluted dirt? I honestly don't know, because currently all of our polluted dirt is all the way down here on the bottom right, and we're just storing it in a little bit of polluted water. Yeah, I don't think it matters. Yeah, we're just gonna do exactly that. We're just gonna come straight out of here. And then we're going to build a bridge, a conveyor bridge, just to make sure it knows in what direction to go. Well, let's redo that. There we go. That is what that should look like. And when all this here is built, then this here will be completely done. So that is the last, but certainly not the least thing that we have to do for this build. There we go. That is all good. Dupes, plop it in real quick, and then we will go from there. In the depths of Ingenium, yes, all of the ice is gone except the one tiny little piece right here, and the dupe should hopefully pick it up here any second now. Number 9 priority, guys, come on, grab it right away. But what we can certainly do is we can now hook up our power, because of course I snipped it off so our ice does not melt down here. That's certainly not what we want, and we will see how successful we will be with this endeavor. Another thing that I did is up here, I opened this here up. This here was closed off, and now we can come straight through here. That is not really meant for the dupes, even though apparently they're using it. Well, whatever works, I guess. But mainly what I want to do is I want to get this carbon dioxide down here, because we have no carbon dioxide in this area whatsoever. So might as well grab it all the way from the top here. Maybe that even helps us out a tiny little bit and get some into here. Over here on Abundino, everything on this side here is done. It is closed off. We have power and we have piping and a little bit of automation just so we can control it. And over here, it is time to create a vacuum on the bottom. And as soon as that is done, we can plop in this bridge that's missing right here. Yes, that is precisely what we want to do. Also this here, we're going to set it to below, so all of those pumps here run. And when 6 pumps are running, we should certainly have a vacuum in here in no time. There's one more thing missing over here though, and that is infinite storages. With a huge system like this here, we do not really have a choice, because we are going to produce so much hydrogen as well as oxygen that we have no other way to store it. We could have built it smaller, yes, but why would we? I mean, the reality is, why freaking would we? We can build it this way, so we freaking will. So let's build us a couple of infinite storages. We're gonna get started with insulated tiles, and we're probably just gonna plop them right here. Yes, something like this here for our hydrogen, and then a little bit lower, maybe somewhere around here, should get the job done for our oxygen. This is our basic setup as always. Of course, you guys know it by now. And then we're gonna go into ventilation, gonna grab us gas vents, and we're gonna grab us 4 of them right here, and of course 4 of them right here, just so we get a basic outline. Then a couple gas pumps, one here, one there, one here, and one there. And then we're gonna finish it up something just like this here. There we go. That should do it for sure. Actually, let's leave it too wide open so we have a little bit better gas exchange. And then while we are at it, we might as well put everything in all at once. In ventilation, we're gonna grab us insulated gas pipes, and we're gonna bring them out kind of just like this here in every direction that we can imagine. So we definitely have enough so we can hook all this stuff here up. Then we're gonna hop straight into plumbing, and we are gonna grab us a bottle emptier here and the bottle emptier there, and we're just gonna pump a little bit of water in here. It's literally this simple. It's not gonna be any hot or any cold, so it literally doesn't matter. Water is going to be fine. As a matter of fact, do we still have oil? Well, you know what, screw it. We're gonna make it oil just because we have it. So that here is everything that we need. There's only one thing missing, and that is power, and I still need to figure out where we get power from, but that shouldn't be too hard. So dupes, let's get this last piece to the puzzle here done. And now, after another marathon build, we are finally done. The dupes are cleaning up, and our oil is just sitting here in the appropriate amounts. You can see it right here, just very briefly. We have done it so often by now, I'm pretty sure you guys know it. If you do want to see it in more detail when we build the next one, please let me know in the comments down below. But for right now, I'm pretty sure you have seen it enough. So let's close it off. Let's make sure all of this here is good. Then we could just gonna create a vacuum and call it a day after that. It's literally this simple. Last but not least, of course, we also need to put in the entrance right here. So let's see the top one right here. We going to make hydrogen, and for hydrogen, this here's our hydrogen pipe, and we're just gonna plop it into here. Yeah, that should be perfectly fine. And then down here on the bottom, yeah, how are we gonna do this? Let's see, we already have our wonderful vacuums, so that is all right. We can get rid of all of this here, the gas pipes, and then of course also everything else. There we go. All of it needs to go. And then an F7. We're going to take, how are we going to do this here? We could just take the very first one and bring it into the base. Yeah, that's probably smart. And we're just gonna bring it somewhere on the top, somewhere around here maybe. Actually, we could bring it all the way up to the very top right here and then over. Yeah, that should be fine for right now. And then the second and third ones we are going to plop into here. That is what we're going to do here in a second. First of all, the dupes need to get all this here on the bottom deconstructed so we can actually do this. And right here and right there, we of course need 2 bridges. And that will then be completing the system here for good. As soon as this bridge is built, we can close it off and call it a day. Oh yeah, and for a power solution, I replaced the small transformer here with a large power transformer. Because with the large power transformer, now with this wire right here, we can actually support it, where with the small one we couldn't. So it's certainly good that we had an extra space available right there. Meanwhile, on Ingenium, yes, all the way on the bottom once again, yeah, I put in 4 space heaters because 1 space heater clearly didn't do a hell of a lot, but with 4 space heaters, now look at what our shaft is doing. Yeah, we are looking pretty decent right now, and I'm just gonna let them run as it is because I clearly don't care. I already put in the pipe, so we are ready for next time around to actually extract all of this hydrogen right here. That is certainly going to be great, and I honestly can't wait for it. Look at all of this hydrogen. It is so much. That is going to be great. We just need to plop a gas pump in here and of course hook it up to another gas pipe. And thankfully we have one very close by. It's this one right here. We just need to build all the way down to here. that is going to be a little bit of a problem, but certainly not a very big one, especially since we don't have to make it insulated. All of this hydrogen here is extremely cold, -111 degrees. Therefore, we need to heat it up on the way up anyway, or it will freeze everything in its path. Certainly not a good thing. So we're just gonna route it a little bit through this oil right here. I'd rather have it at 80 degrees than at -111, that is for sure. Old Jemsterr up here in space, yeah. He is down to 7,610 kilograms worth of plastic, and he has created, let's take a look here, 100, 200, 300, 400, almost 500. Yeah, 478 databanks. That is certainly enough to send him back home. So that is precisely what we're going to do right now. So let's say we're gonna change the destination and we're gonna send it back to Ingenium. So Jemsterr, you can enjoy some time at home before we send you back up in space, but this time with an exploration mission instead of a research mission. So let's watch this rocket here land. And he should be arriving any second now, Jemsterr. Let's see where you at, good sir. There you are. And he's landing, and we can see our totally identical rockets, at least from the outside. And how much oxygen did we have left? Yeah, 367 kilograms. More than enough. And we gotta keep in mind that he was in space for an extremely long time, so that works out perfectly in our favor. Wonderful, that is precisely what we want to see, and that is precisely what we got. And then last but not least, on Abundino, we are ready to go. I created a vacuum in each one of our 2 storages. We have our oil in here with the appropriate amount once again, and the high pressure gas vents can now go. And we are also bringing wonderful sand over here. Yes, the dupes finally got around to actually do that. That is certainly very good. And then of course, we're gonna tell them to clean up whenever they have time. All the stuff here that's just laying around on the ground. But other than that, this system here is ready to roll, and let's take a last look at our polluted water vent here. We are at 4.2 cycles. So at the beginning of next episode, or at least relatively close to the beginning of the next episode, we will definitely see that thing running, and that is going to be very, very good. We are first going to accumulate a tiny little bit of water in here, and once we have it, we turn this thing here on. That is going to be great. I am honestly looking really, really forward to it. But that is all I have for you today. So if you enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video, and of course comment down below. You know it, I'm always happy to hear from you. And with that I say thank you and peace.